Hello guys, welcome back. It's been a while. I've been quite busy. I've got a new PC now as well, and I thought it's finally time to get back into SE. So I built this little fighter. I'm actually building a pretty big carrier since way too long, and it's still going to take me a long time to finish. It's still very rough on the inside, not much in here. But I thought, I probably need a fighter for that, because I don't really have many hydrogen-powered fighters. So I just built this little guy to get back into the game. And what I want to show you is basically how I build it. This is like all the in-progress stages. And let's just start with the first one. This is kind of how I start building. I just draw out like a little silhouette. Very simple. I just want to give it like two forward, like canards, I think, forward wings, and then two rather big wings at the back. Give it a little bit of like thickness. I move the back wing up one block compared to the front wing. Add this little tank there, right? Because it's so big, I feel like the tank, you need to basically place it very, very early, or else you just won't have any space to place it at all. Next step, I shaped out the wings, because at this point is still very, very ugly, and that does help a lot to really like see how it might look like in the end. I didn't really like the tank that much, to be honest, and I probably need two, so I removed it again and instead placed two tanks here at the back, on the left, one on the right, with two big thrusters, which I think looks better. I tried these like DLC thrusters, but I don't know, I'm not sure. They're so like weirdly brown. I always in the end go back to the default thrusters. I think they just look better. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, I just like them more. I also started to like do a little bit here on the top, just give it some kind of shape, a little bit of volume, and then also on the bottom, just very simple, two skid things, whatever in the back, one on the front, very, very simple. And then the next step, because this gray is, you can't see anything, it's just a gray blob. So what I did is I just gave it a little bit of a white painting and then some stripes, just to see a little bit better how it might look like in the end. I also tried experimenting a little bit with rocket launchers. I kind of like having these reloadable rocket launchers, but they're so hard to place, so I tried like just putting them in pretty early. Connected to these cargo containers there, and then on the bottom a connector. It works, it just barely misses this wing, so at this point I thought it's like maybe a good idea. Then for the next version, what I did was, I thought the ass is like kind of bad on this one, like they are so far apart, the thrusters, so I just moved them in a little bit. You don't really need those large conveyor ports, you can just connect it to the small ones here on the side. So this is totally fine, and I think it looks just a little bit slimmer, a little bit more aerodynamic, so I like that a bit more. And also I open up this back section here. I feel like it's always so difficult to kind of deal with these tanks because they're so round, and covering up them completely is just impossible, so I end up like leaving them mostly exposed. Oh, and I made the wings a bit pointy here as well. Yeah, I tried changing this top section here a bit more because I wasn't really satisfied with it. Still not that great. Change the wings a little bit to like have this, I don't know what kind of block this is, but it's like, it looks like cut off, and I kind of like how the wing looks like this. And I also started putting in a ton of thrusters, which you really need for like a maneuverable fighter. You just need a million thrusters on the bottom. And the good thing about them is, of course, if you look at it like this, right, the normal camera perspective, you're not really going to see all these thrusters. And a large one is only equal to 5 small thrusters, so this is easily more than the thrusters pointing forwards. Yeah, I put in even more thrusters, all the ones to the side, like these two here. The ones pointing upwards. I always try to hide them like really deep into the ship, so you can't see them very well. If you look from the back like this, and the thruster flame is like just barely visible, because otherwise, as soon as you start flying, it just lights up like a Christmas tree, and I just don't really like how that looks. So I try to hide them as good as possible. And only on the bottom, it doesn't really matter, because it's like on the bottom, you're not going to see it. Yeah, I still wasn't really satisfied with the whole top. I kept changing it, didn't really like this as well. And one more thing I changed was the rocket launchers, because at this point I didn't even realize this at first. It doesn't even work anymore, it just shoots straight into the wing. And also makes the back wing look so fat. So I moved it, one block in, one block down, and now it shoots like above and below this front wing. Works like a charm. And it like the wing looks so much slimmer and so much more like an actual wing, and not this like fat, chubby whatever. So yeah, way better, I think, to just do it like this. Then I again changed the top of the ship. I made this like gray section here. I think it always looks good to have something dark that's like covered by brighter blocks, like wrapped around, you know. And I try to kind of reduce the amount of like surfaces I have. So now I have like this one surface here, one surface at the back, and then the third one down there. It's still a bit messy. There's still a bunch of weird blocks that don't really seem to belong anywhere. So I continued making it a bit smoother. And at this point, I think it's like kind of okay. It's just this one surface there at the back, one at the front, and that's kind of it. And whatever the hell this round thing is, it looks okay. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it makes sense, so that's fine. It doesn't really have to make sense. It just has to look like it makes sense. That's good enough. This is just like a bunch more like small, tiny changes. A little bit of detailing in the back with some wheel suspension, some exhausts, random hinge blocks, just some greeble here and there, this panel, a light, whatever. And at this point it was essentially kind of getting somewhere. And I left it for like a week or two because I didn't really know what else to change. And when I came back, I decided like maybe it's just time to start coloring it and then see where I can go from there. And this is basically how I color ships. I just pick a bunch of colors, just select any colors that I find kind of interesting maybe, and then just paint the whole ship in that color to see, you know, how the color looks on the ship. And I really did like the top three here, the red, the beige, and the purple. So I tried to just paint it in those colors. I just took like a block and just randomly went across. So like this, just like randomly going across it. Looked pretty cool. I also tried using the green, the beige, and just a normal gray without any color in it. I kind of like both, to be honest, but since this is supposed to be like a fighter and militaristic and stuff, I kind of felt like the green one is probably better. But I do like this color combination, so maybe I'm going to use it for another ship in the future. But yeah, anyways, I went with the green one. Just gave it like a proper paint job here, not just a random one. And generally the way I do it is always I make all the blocks that are like further inside, I make them dark. Like you can see all the blocks that are hidden inside, they are dark. And then the ones that are further outside, they kind of wrap around it, they are like brighter. I did want this to be like quite colorful, so I made most of the wings green. Could have made them completely green maybe, but I thought just having like a little stripe in there is maybe kind of cool. Yeah, and this is like almost finished. The only thing I did in the end was to just add a bit of texture. There's a bunch here, there's some sci-fi here. I think most of it is this plastic texture actually. Those cylinders are dusty, I think dusty texture. And then some blocks have this new I don't know what it's called, battle scarred or something. The one that looks like it's been shot at. Kind of like that. There's some more dusty here. And just randomly like putting some different textures here and there. It really gives it a lot more detail. And also you probably won't be able to see it that well, but like I did some slight discolorations on some blocks. Some are like a little bit lighter, some are a little bit darker. It's really hard to see. Probably doesn't do that much, to be honest, but I still like to do it. Maybe it helps to just make it look a little bit more interesting. And yeah, this is like already the final one. Just add a few lights on it, just some mood lighting or whatever. I always like to add a few blinking lights, like those on the wings, or more here in the back. I just think that makes it like come to life a little bit more. And yeah, this is like the final ship.